capable of making any sacrifice. I'd do anything for him.
Including getting beat up by your husband, hmm?
Yes. Including that. I was willing to endure it a few years longer. Until my son graduated.
Yes, and then things...
Hey Passionistas, good to have you here. This is Astrid. Thank you for logging on to my YouTube channel. So a quick review on the last episode on Law of the Heart. It started with Nicholas investigating a client for murder case, like she's been alleged to have murdered her husband, though she did it accidentally, like she was trying to defend herself in defense. So but she's been detained, and now he's trying to get every bit of information from her to know what exactly happened, and then being able to stand or defend her. Like sometimes we just really wonder why people get to stay in abusive marriage, relationship for such a long period of time because of so many things. Definitely, like I said in the last video, we're going to talk more about that, why people stay in abusive relationship, marriage, until the chips are done, or when one of the party eventually gets to lose their life. So the next scene is Avara and his friend. They're having dinner. Like, okay, they've seen Camilo on newspaper, so they invited Julia to join them, have dinner, then they talk over and about everything. Trust them when they're there. Like, I really like the way he talks, like, okay, now it is time for her to, what exactly is happening, what does she want to do. They really get to know. Man, I like those kind of friends that, okay, when they see or hear information about you, or when they know you're done, they really get your back. Those are the kind of people you say they get your back. I'm assuring you of that. So now they're having dinner. They asked her what she really wants to do. She said, well, she likes Pablo and she's sure she doesn't want to let Pablo go, then but she still has some feelings for Camilo. So Avara eventually told her to just be patient, be calm, and then let everything work out fine for itself. But now that Camilo is aware of everything, of course, he's trying everything or every means he can to get her back. So you know, that kind of gossip and gist within them is so interesting. So the next scene is Domingo's hearing for Mr. Castillo. That's the one of the cases where the wife alleged that he assaulted their child when she was 6 or 7. Just imagine that. So he's really and seriously defending the matter. That would never have happened, and even report practitioners and also from psychologists revealed that nothing of such happened to the child. So let's see how it unveils in the next episode, but very sure that Pablo would win the case because the judge has already seen enough reasons, or so many reasons, why he should be granted custody, or he should be given the opportunity to visit his child once in a while. So Alfredo and Sylvia talk about Elisa, the case. He tells her about the situation of Elisa, her baby, and well, but since arrest has been done, they definitely have to check what can be done, investigate her, and know the reason why she went to the extent of murdering doctor using Rahelos. His name is always difficult for me to pronounce. Using Rahelos to murder the doctor. So that being said, Pablo gets back to the office. He had a discussion with Camille, like on different things. Like Camille, of course, Camille is like the frontline mistress of all of them, the frontline mama of all of them. She's almost aware of everything which happens to them in the office, like personally. Like people have been saying, well, when you have such office, like so far so good, I would say. The Kaba Ortega Sem is actually showing us that beyond home, your office could also be your home, where you have people to stand by your side. Of course, you definitely have people like Woods also at one time or the other be also very stingy. So that being said, Elias and Julia, they're having a discussion. He tells her that he's gone back to Isabella, they're back together, and that he promises never in his life to do such or be on the infidel side of anything that he's learned his lesson. So he promises to be a good husband, he's been a good husband anyways. He's promised to be a very better and the best of husband, and also advises Julia, let her know that no matter what, love he's a very, very funny man. That lovely is that okay, where he tried to tease her that when Camilo was in prison, she didn't wait for him like Isabel waited for him, but eventually advised her that he likes her to stay with Pablo. He knows she's in a very confused state, but he likes her to stay with Pablo. So everybody's just on that, like they actually like her being with Pablo. A client like I told us in one of the episodes, he's the advocate of people in the streets. So that's clearly and exactly what we're saying. He's interrogating one of his clients. He's getting like enough information from them to be able to save them. So at this point, Alfredo gets to see him. He needs the documents, one of the documents to Eloisa's case. So he gets to see, he offers to, then he hear him talk to his client, and after viewing and saying him for some time, like okay, you could see that Marcus is actually very, very and really passionate about what he does. So after hearing and saying him, he offers him a job. He tells him okay to come to the office and collect his offer of employment. Goodness, so that's how sometimes luck just shine on some people. He's going to work with one of the foremost firms, yes, in the neighborhood or in the environment. So good for him. So the next one is Camilo and Roberto. Roberto is really thinking all he wants is how to get Julia back as much as possible. And where I really don't understand is when he's saying that okay, after getting Julia back, he would retaliate. Like, what does he want to do to Pablo? You're the cause of your own predicament, or you're the cause of your whatever has happened to you. He caused it by himself. So why is he telling? I don't understand the kind of retaliation he wants to get back at Pablo, but he should know that Pablo, though gentle, is a very, very rugged guy. So Alfredo and Sylvia, they analyze the case. They want to know the reason why Eloisa would do that after about 7 years or so. So they talk about her paralyzed baby, and situation surrounding the scene is when Pablo gets to Julia's office. Like, I think for some reasons, I don't really know if they're trying to avoid each other, but they've been on the boat. They've both been on the reserved side, knowing that there is someone in between them who is making their relationship not to sour or be sweet as it used to be. They talked about the funeral, and like they couldn't attend the funeral. So many things that happened, even the kids couldn't attend. And then after having conversation, Pablo told her of his appointment, or that he would be spending the weekend with the little boy. While he asked her if she would be spending the weekend with Camilo. Of course, she said she would definitely get to see him. The next scene is Mr. Samuel and the women. Like, now beginning to really imagine life when you're old, like when you're old and you get to even stay in such places where you have a lot of persons, women around you. So we're trying to actually get to think about that. Of course, it has a very great sense of humor, and the women, they like it enough. Now he's on a mission. He wants to make Astrid, like advised by his son, he wants to make Astrid his friend to avoid being evicted from the home of the elderly. So they are strategizing or finding ways on how to get across, or just how to make sure he gets to reach her, and then he's on the side. So the next one is Nicholas and Camilo. They're talking about Alahandra. Camilo is bent on ensuring that Alahandra pays for his sins, or the murder he did against Santiago. So he gets to tell him everything that happened, like okay, how he planned everything, like he really planned. He gave him all the reasons that it was a murder and not an accident. So you understand that kind of a situation, that it's a murder, it's not an accident, that he did it intentionally. Like, what even pisses him the most, that he had to gather everybody. So he told him the reason why he's so certain is that Santiago was dating his wife, and maybe because of the business, he's also going to see the police. There was no incident, or there was no robbery in the estates, and there has never been any reported case of robbery, and he's a good and expert user of the gun. So all those prove that, hey, Alahandra is in for it. If he knew that his plans would never lead him anywhere, he would never have tried that. Now this is the time. Mr. Samuel visit Astrid. He promises to have dinner. Is it dinner or wine with her? Like, okay, they get to talk. She's like, no, I don't like your friends. Like, I don't get it. She doesn't like his friends. Like, okay, but he tried. Now he's on a mission, so he tries as much as possible to win her back. Like, you see that, okay, her countenance to a very large extent changed, and I think she's up for what Samuel is offering her. So they decided to go for a drink, a wine kind of drink or something. So the next one is Maria Christiana and her daughter. They're having a conversation. Now this time is mother to daughter conversation. Like, you know, Maria is already on the side of on the side of Pablo, and if you ask her, she doesn't even want that conversation to go. She's already on the side of Pablo, like, this is what and who I want. And she also says, okay, no matter what Pablo think or say, and no matter what Camilo do or say, that he knows or she knows that the father may really not accept that, because he stood them up on the wedding day, sleeping with a stripper and all that. Okay, but they really had the conversation, and then Pablo is home. Himina comes with the baby boy, so they're going to have a lovely evening. It's dinner time. He's preparing dinner. He asked her to join him for dinner. Like, he's kind of really he's, how would I put it now, he was kind of very, very friendly to her, and I'm sure she's having a really great thought that, okay, this is moving some. Okay, let's get to know what Pablo is up to. Maybe because he feels, okay, because the relationship with Julia is getting sour, I don't know, but he really showed some kind of positive attitude towards her. So Astrid and Sam, yes, they're having great conversation. I'm sure she really liked him, like they imagined also. So they're having wine. So coincidentally, they both like poems. So I'm sure this friendship that they have avoided all along and over the years, we all may eventually turn out to be very, very great one. Like, and I hope in turn the other ladies would not be jealous of them. Like, it was a cool time for them, talking about poetry, poems and other things, and the writers of them all, and even reciting one together. And that is the end of this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, Passionistas, if you have a highlight for me on this episode on Law of the Heart, kindly let me know in the comment section. Again, I'm your girl Astrid. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly do this for me. And I just want to let you know that I love you all, and do have a very, very pleasant day. And until I come your way, bye.